All right, let's start this video. 250,000 subscribers in 1 year. It's pretty crazy, and I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Is there a video that made you go from like 0 to hundreds of thousands? Is there some sort of strategy that you used? So in this video, we're gonna unpack that just a little bit. It's a lot less scary than you think, trust me. So Shorts is obviously a big component of growth right now. What I think is Shorts is great for discovery. Long form videos are great if you're trying to convert people to like being like super fans. Also, if there's something in depth that you need to talk about, like sometimes Shorts just aren't good enough. You have to make those long form videos. Hey, I'm doing a camera review. Hey, I'm doing a lens review. Like in this video, you can't really distill this into a piece of short form content.
It's hard to fit everything in a minute.
It is very, very hard. One strategy that is kind of consistent across all of my content is that my content format is very similar. Sometimes you'll see people who make shorts and their shorts are completely different from their long form content. So then the disconnect is when you're making shorts and people decide that they like your shorts and then they want to go and see your long form videos, they're not the same. So then they don't end up subscribing and they don't end up watching your long format videos. My recommendation, if you're gonna make shorts and long videos on YouTube, on wherever you're gonna make them the same so that one, you have to stress less about making different types of content, and then two, they can work off each other. So if people don't have time to watch your long format videos, they can maybe watch the 30-second, 45-second clips of your long format videos and vice versa. Also, it means that if you are making long format videos, you can clip them into short format videos, and then you're kind of doubling up on your efforts so that you don't have to work as hard. Anyways, just a thought. What do you call these things? Oh, I guess it's a dead cat, but I want to call it something else because it looks like I literally have a piece of chest hair.
Dead cat's like a fake thing, like not really.
Well, dead cat is...
Oh, like a wind muff.
You've got a big one, eh? Your muff's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
What was that?
Networking is one of the most important things you can do as a creative. Is that too short, or do I have to keep going?
What about camera gear? Well, it's a lot less important than you think, but if you want to know specifically how to get started with setting up your gear, you can check out this video here. Now, gear is important up until a point. Actually, Stefano, here, come here. How important is professional cameras and good lighting and audio and all that type of stuff for creating content?
If you're a beginner content creator or you're just starting out in content creation, I think people get caught up in what's the best camera to buy and what's the best lens to buy. If you're just starting out and you just have your iPhone or your phone, lighting is the number one thing you should invest in first, and then maybe audio, and then camera gear and lenses can come after.
So you can shoot on a smartphone, you can shoot on an iPhone, you can shoot on your Pixel phone, on your Samsung, whatever, and then invest in high quality lighting, and the results are pretty indistinguishable. Big point I made in my last video was to focus on creating high quality information, provide value, educate people, entertain people, all those things that we typically say. Focusing on that rather than, oh, am I using good lighting? Am I using good microphones? Will get you a lot farther when you're first starting off than fussing over, you know, what lens and what camera to buy.
Value is the most important.
Let's talk about trends, because a lot of people believe the only way to grow is by doing trending audios or trending content, but I've actually experienced the opposite. The problem with trends is that they're really popular for a short period of time, and then afterwards they die out and no one's ever gonna view that piece of content again. Instead, what I like to focus on is the evergreen content, or the content that no matter when you're viewing it, whether it's right now or in 2 years or in 5 years from now, it will still be relevant. Also, trends are kind of that copycat style of content where you're just doing all the things that everyone else does. So if you don't have something that makes you unique, you're not giving people a reason to follow you. Even if your content is amazing, like you take the best photos and the best videos, if it's just raw versus edited, color graded versus log footage or whatever. It's kind of just the stuff that everyone's doing. Find the thing that you enjoy, the thing that you really like to do, make content about that, because it might take you longer to grow, you might not get as many views initially, but in the long run, people will subscribe for the right reasons. That was the dumbest jump away ever. How often should you post? With short form content, that is probably the biggest question, because content is short. So do you post more? Do you post every day? Do you post every week? Do you post multiple times every day? Honestly, the answer kind of depends on the style of content that you're creating. Like if you're creating really high value content, then you might only need to post like once a week. But if the content you're posting is like really quick, really fast, then go ahead, post multiple times a week. Now, when it comes to creating that content, that's another question. Like, do you batch the content? Do you film it each day and then post it? If you are creating long form videos, then you're kind of already creating the short form content that goes along with it, because you can clip those long form videos, or you can draw B-roll from those long form videos. Personally, post as much as you can to sustain a certain level of quality, but beyond that, there really is no right or wrong answer. I don't know, Stefano, what do you think? What do you think of Will's setup down there?
I've never seen this in my entire life.
I've never seen, I mean, I've seen that and I've seen that, but together, I haven't seen that, you know?
It's the new vlogging setup.
Do you think audio is important, sir?
Yes. So we got it plugged in here. Goes into this, which goes into this. It's not that complicated.
I just told the people that gear didn't matter.
It doesn't, but it's kind of fun.
I will say having gear gives you options for the type of content that you want to shoot. You don't always have to keep it the same, you know? You can try different things.
I think gear is fun though.
A7, R5, 24 prime, 85 prime. Yeah, gear, the right gear is fun for sure. Ready to get naked? It's a nude beach.
I'm not getting naked.
Hannelin's, where is it, right here? Hannelin's Point is the nude beach, or at least half of it is. So be careful which half you go to. Minimum viable product. What is it? And what does it mean for your content? When you're creating a piece of short form content, you can put everything into it. You can put all the B-roll, all the music, all the sound effects, but then instead of being, you know, a 15-minute edit or a 30-minute edit, now you're spending hours. And you don't even know if this is something that's gonna work. So my recommendation, strip everything else out of it. Take all of that stuff away, remove all the text, and the airplanes and the helicopters that are flying by, and just keep it simple. Like, don't worry about being too fancy. Focus on that one piece of information that is core, that is fundamental to the idea that you're trying to communicate. Anything else I want to add? The idea comes from like product marketing. So when you have something that you want to release to the public, instead of putting all the features into it, you kind of focus on what is the minimum amount of features and whatever that we need to put into this thing where people will actually be interested in buying it. So when you're talking about your content, think, what is the minimum amount of information that I can share where people will actually be interested in watching this? So we forgot, because we're going to the island, have like this little bonfire thing, and we did not bring a lighter. We did not. Did you bring a hatchet?
Nobody brought anything.
No hatchet, no knife. We got tripods, we've got chairs, so that's good. But the problem is that we don't have a way to actually survive in the wilderness. And Anthony, being the survival wilderness wannabe.
Your first thought is having a hatchet with you.
Absolutely, what's wrong with that? We're like the tripod crew right now. We've all got these amazing tripods that have like Allen keys built in, and like extendable center columns and horizontal vertical modes.
New product for the adventure and wilderness photographers, a tripod that has everything built in. One of those like match strike things, a lighter built in, little knife built in for everything.
So here's my idea. Your tripod also separates into hiking poles. So you know you have 3 legs? You got 3 hiking poles.
Yeah, so think about it. Your tripod can do everything.
I'm copywriting this. This is my idea. You cannot have it.
You add and actually probably kind of easy. You just add like ruler markers to like one of the tripod legs.
I think Manfrotto or Benro or Schlechter, all these brands, we'll do a collab. We'll call it the Blessed Bros tripod. You know that show I'm always talking about, Rich?
Yeah. Rich is nodding.
There's a show on History Channel called Alone, and they're in like their, I don't know, 9th or 10th season or something.
Heard of it? Huh?
So in the show, they have to survive alone out in the wilderness, and they have camera gear with them. Like they legitimately have to bring tripods and GoPros and whatever they're given. So those people, that's who I'm gonna sell the tripod to.
What if one guy outdid everybody else? Everyone's like pulling up with GoPros, and one guy brings a Sony Venice.
I don't know, we'll come up with a name. If you got a name idea, let me know down below. I don't know, I'll thumbs up the heart the best.
Survival pod.
The survival pod. So we got the Mantis pod, we got the Gorilla pod, we got the Manfrotto pod, travel freebie, and then we've got ours, the survival pod. Actually, I really like it. Carbon fiber, titanium alloy. We made it.
I was just about to say the same thing.
We made it to the beach. We're just looking for other life sources on the beach. Right now it's just us. Look at this. If you put a snail or 3 fish.
I don't know what it is.
I feel like the majority of content creators fall into one of 2 categories. Either they're all in on shorts and that's all they focus on, or they're more a traditional content creator, YouTuber, and all they do is long form content. So you might be wondering, which one should you focus on? Is there an advantage to shorts over long form? Should you focus on both? Actually, Stefano, come on over. How you doing? I didn't see you there.
Good, how are you?
What are your thoughts on short form versus long form content? Do you treat one differently? What are your thoughts?
I think both types of content are important. I think short form content is important for growth and visibility. I prefer long form content just because I see more potential and more of a benefit there.
Audience building?
Audience building.
I kind of look at it like this. Short form content is the new equivalent of the daily vlog. The new way to connect to your audience on a daily basis. It's kind of like the Instagram story, and you're just kind of like giving a quick piece of information, versus the long form content is a way to build longevity and trust with your audience.
I think short form content is sometimes too short and you need to make that longer video. So I think long form content has a place. I think it's just 2 different types of content.
Yeah, totally agree. Oh, look at that. Who? We have another stranger. Get out of here. Get out of here. Will, come on over. I'm the taller one today. Short form versus long form content. What are your thoughts on each?
First of all, thank you for having me on this talk show, Anthony. I think short form content and long form content are very important. Short form content brings in a larger audience and can get more reach, but it's a much more of a casual viewer, whereas long form content, when someone's willing to watch like an 8-10 minute YouTube video from you, it's a qualifier for them being more interested in buying your presets or digital sales, or just
your wedding services,
or just being more invested in your channel as a whole.
It's very interesting. The short form content algorithm on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram Reels is absolutely wild. It will just push your content out to everyone, which is sometimes not what you want when you're trying to build a dedicated audience who really cares about you and all the different things that you're doing. This beach is so rocky. If you enjoyed this whole discussion of short form content and, I don't know, growth strategies and all that, let me know down below. Was this helpful? Do you want to see more tips like this? And if you're curious about gear tips, about camera settings, about all that type of stuff, you can check out the video up in the corner. Until the next one, go shoot some photos. Right now, walking over here. Is it still good? Is it still good? Hello there. Is this intimate if I go like this? What about gear? What about camera gear? What about... Give me a second. My brain farted. Is the audio still going? Is the audio still going? Is the audio still